Hey everyone, and welcome to the Farm and Pastor's Wife. Today's video is going to be slightly different. I'm going to bring you along as I prep for Thanksgiving several days in advance. And I'm not feeling 100%, so the majority of this video is going to be a voiceover. And you can tell I still have a little squeaky voice. But we're going to turn the Christmas lights on, pour us a cup of coffee, turn on some Christmas music, and just prep for Thanksgiving. I'm pulling you guys up a chair in the kitchen, and you're going to watch me as I prep, and I'll just talk to you as the video goes along. So let's get started. As I said, I'm not feeling 100% in this video, and it actually started the night before. We had stopped to get groceries, and when we came home, the allergies had hit pretty hard, and I put away the cold things but still had the rest of the stuff to put away. So I've got to do that before we get started with any cooking or anything that we decide to accomplish today. You can tell I don't feel very well because there's not a smile to be found anywhere. Okay, so I've got the majority of everything put away, so I'm trying to decide what I need to do. I want to make sweet potato pies and boil my sweet potatoes for the candy jams for Bryant's family Thanksgiving, which is in just a couple of days. So, and you'll actually get to see a little bit of that on this video. I'm still putting away clean dishes, and now look, everything's pretty clean. Oh, I remembered we needed to get our frozen cookies, our molasses cookies, which were absolutely amazing. I needed to get those put into a bag and frozen so we can use those cookies for our cookie exchange. And I'll need the cookie sheet probably at some point today. So we're just getting those all bagged up and put back in the freezer. Excuse me if I cough. I'm laying out some pie crust dough. I think store-bought pie crust has come such a long way, and I use it whenever I possibly can. Even though I can make my own pie crust, I just happen to really like the store-bought, so I don't make it often. Here I'm just scrubbing up some pretty sweet potatoes that I purchased at the grocery store, and I have several. So I'm going to do some on the stovetop, and I'll explain why later on, but I'm going to do some on the stovetop and then others in the Instapot. I think one of the reasons my allergies have hit so hard is when we were out in the woods and around the farm looking for Caroline's little dog Opie, which unfortunately we have not located as of yet. So we're kind of expecting the worst but hoping for the best. Now I'm just going to fill this pot up with water and get it on the stove top and get them to boiling. I know there's multiple ways you can do sweet potatoes, and probably easier ways than boiling. I just happen to prefer boiling the candy jams, the sweet potatoes for my candy jams, because I like them at a certain tenderness. I don't like them too soft, and I can check them on the stovetop to see what their tenderness level is at. I'm adding a little water here to my Instapot. I'm going to put potatoes in my Instapot for my sweet potato pies because it doesn't matter how soft those get. So instead of using another pot on the stove, I am going to use my Instapot, and it worked perfectly, as you will see later on in this video. I did speed this video up just a little bit, but not a whole lot. I don't like it going too terribly fast. So I know this is a probably exceptionally long video compared to my normal videos, but it was just fun to hang out with you guys while I just do my normal stuff. I set the valve to sealing and I put it on 16 minutes, and then I just let it, the pressure, once the 16 minutes was reached, I just let the pressure release on its own. Again, excuse me for my occasional cough. Just wiping out any dust or anything in the pie pans. They're clean. I just always, no matter what I get out of the cabinets, I kind of wipe them off. I'm getting out everything I'll need. A sugar, the pie crust. And I've changed my mind. I got to thinking about my chocolate cake. I really didn't feel like making it this day, but I thought, you know what? I'm going to just throw that together. So I grabbed my recipe boxes out and decided to search for that recipe. It is our $500 chocolate cake. And there's a story behind the name of that cake. So you'll have to search in the search bar, the Farm and Pastor's Wife $500 chocolate cake. I'm checking the recipe here to make sure I have everything I need, and I believe I do. So we're actually going to, oh look, a smile. We're going to actually start making the chocolate cake. And that way I can freeze the cake layers and not worry about the icing until another day. We're just going to cream the butter and the Crisco together. And the sugar eventually. This is much like a chocolate pound cake, but you make it in layers, and it has the most absolutely delicious icing. We just add the eggs one at a time.
Hoping to find that something that makes you see that I love you.
I've been out running all day.
Now we're going to make our flour mixture, add the baking powder to that and the cocoa powder.
What do you get for someone?
I give it a pre-sift with my whisk. Not trying to mix it up well, but just trying mainly to incorporate that baking powder in with the flour a little bit. And I just add a little bit at a time, alternately with the milk.
All I've got to give for Christmas is this.
I always like to give my sides and bottom a scrape just to make sure we're getting everything incorporated. And of course I have to wash my hands if I get anything on my hands. This cake calls for vanilla flavoring as well as some almond flavoring. So that's what I'm adding here. Oops. Of course I would drop it right in there. This cake is so good. And I think freezing the cake layers ahead of time is going to make them extra moist too the day we serve it. And there's really lots and lots of icing on this cake, and it is so good. I've sprayed my cake pans, and I try to keep the cake layers as even as possible. So I take a measuring scoop and I just do one, then the next, and then I go back and repeat just to try to keep them as even as possible. I grabbed a spatula to do the final scraping and to clean out my measuring cup. Just spreading the batter out a little bit. And you'll see in just a minute I do kind of drop these pans on the countertop a couple of times, and that's just to get out any air bubbles that may be in there. I want to taste this so bad, but I was really good and didn't. Here I am dropping the pans a couple of times on the countertop, and they are going in the oven, all three at the same time. Here I am checking the tenderness of my sweet potatoes. I like them soft where I can cut through them with a knife, but not mushy. And that one seemed to be perfect. So we're going to drain these. And then I'm going to run some cold water over top to kind of stop the cooking process. I had planned on going ahead and making my candy jams on this day, but I did not get that completed. So you'll see that I finished that after church the next day on Sunday, right before we went to Bryant's family get-together. And the ones in the Instapot are super soft, which is the way I want them, because they're the ones I'm going to use to make our sweet potato pies. Now the cake layers have cooled. They've come out of the oven. They're completely cool, and I am just wrapping them in saran wrap so they can head to the freezer. I'm super excited. I don't know that I've ever frozen a cake before, but I think this may help with it, just make them extra moist. I think this will be very helpful. I really did this just to get things done ahead of time Excuse me, I'm so sorry. My throat is tickling so bad. But I wrapped them with saran wrap individually. Now I stacked all three, wrapping them in tin foil, and in the freezer they're going to go. I'll probably lay them out Tuesday before Thanksgiving and ice the cake and fix the cake on Wednesday. I wasn't feeling the best, so I sat down for just a minute to rest, but not for long. So it is evening now. You can see it's dark outside. I decided to go ahead and get my sweet potatoes made. In just a few minutes, you'll see that my sweet husband came in to help me. I was taking my store-bought pie crust, sprinkling a little flour on it, and there was some flour already on my board. And I'm just rolling it out a little bit bigger so that it fits my pie pan completely. I hate the mixer was still sitting there because you can't really see what I'm doing, but I just didn't give that a thought. But I make sure it fits, and then I fold any excess under. And I know you can't see what I'm doing. I'm so sorry. I didn't even think about the mixer being there. So I'm going around folding the excess dough under, and then I'm going to go back around and crimp the edges. There comes my sweet husband. And he's eating the peeling. And here I am just crimping the sides of the pie crust. He's not throwing the peeling on the floor. That's actually where my trash can is sitting. So what peelings he's not eating, he's throwing in the trash can. My recipe for sweet potato pies does make 2 pies. So I'm going to roll out the other pie crust, put a little flour on my board. The pies were not to take to his family gathering. I'm actually putting those in the freezer as well. And we'll have those for our Thanksgiving. The only thing I took to his family's gathering was, oh, look, he's so sweet. He moved the mixer. I didn't even realize that day he did that. So now you'll get to see what I mean by I fold the excess over. I just lift the dough up a little bit on the edge and fold it right under. Okay, so now it's folded under, so now I'm going to go back around and crimp. Using my thumb and forefinger of one hand and my forefinger of the other. We're just going to set those aside while I make our filling. I went to the microwave to put a stick of butter in and melt it. And now I'm going to mash these sweet potatoes. I need 4 cups for this recipe. I need 4 cups of mashed sweet potatoes. I'm using a little bit of elbow grease here. Now I'm pushing it down to see exactly how much I have. There was a little bit of brown skin left on there, so I just pulled that out. And I'm going to get my hand mixer out in just a minute, and this will go much easier. There goes my melted butter. Here goes my evaporated milk, and I topped it off with a some heavy cream. Put my egg in there to be sure I didn't get any shells. Now pouring it in the batter. And I'm going to add in some vanilla. And I almost forgot the sugar, but thank goodness I didn't. I saw some excess potato on that spoon, so I decided to scrape it off. Sweet potatoes are oftentimes stringy, so I'll look and make sure there's no strings. And I'll grab out what I see. Here I'm pouring in the potato mixture into the pie crust. And the sweet potatoes are ready to go. The sweet potato pies are ready to go in the oven. Time to clean up and put things away. And I just stack up the dishes because I don't really feel like it, so I sat them over there to the side, wiped things down a little bit, and decided I could clean up tomorrow after church. And there they are. Aren't they beautiful? Now I just need to freeze them and go. Okay, so here we are the next day. This is after church. We've come home, we've done couch time, and I've uploaded that video for you guys. And I began to make our candied jams. I like these, like I said, somewhat firm, still soft where a knife can just glide right through it, but not mushy because I cut these in long slices and I do a layer at a time. And I try to fit it together as much like a puzzle as I can. I only do 2 layers in my candied jams. I just think they're best that way. So eventually I'm going to realize I have way more potatoes, so I'm going to go grab a second tin pan and do a second tin pan. I'm not sure I show you guys that, but that's actually what ends up happening. So I took 2 pans of candied jams to Bryant's family gathering. This recipe is requested every single year. It is so wonderful. It was one of my mom's signature recipes, and now it has become mine. I'm always asked to bring these to any family gathering, both Thanksgiving and Christmas. And when we did Easter at Bryant's family, I carried them at Easter as well. But now we do Easter here, just our family. There's only 3 ingredients, and there's no spices, no cinnamon. So the sweet potatoes are really the star of the show, with the exception of the excess of butter and the excess of sugar, in which you're fixing to see. There's absolutely nothing healthy about this recipe at all, but there's everything deliciousness about it. Several pats of butter go down on the first layer, and lots and lots and lots of sugar. Now I'm starting my second layer. Okay, so I finished up the candied jams. I packed them up. I wrapped them in tin foil, packed them up, packed the car up, and off to Bryant's sister's house we went for Thanksgiving. So let's run what little bit of footage there was there, and then I'll come back and tell you goodbye. Okay, everybody, we are at Bryant's family's Thanksgiving. Yes, we are.
I'm shaking. I'm nervous about them coming along.
At their Thanksgiving get together, so we'll see if I can film a little bit.
All right, how was everything?
Very good.
Delicious. All right, guys, here's a little bit to the madness. It's kind of calm right now. Everybody's kind of getting some desserts. There's Colton. You guys will see some of the other people in there. Some's out in the garage. My nephew, brother-in-law, niece by marriage, niece over there, another niece, great nephews, all the hoodlums.
Well, everyone, I apologize on this video that you had to hear me cough as I did the voiceover, and as my voice is just not up to par. These allergies have got me, and so no need to worry, just seasonal allergies. Like I said, I think they were exacerbated by being outside looking for Opie, and the fall is always harder on me than even the spring. So anyway, I will see you guys next time on The Farm and Pastor's Wife. We've got one more cookie recipe to do, and then it is full-fledged Thanksgiving prep. Hey, Vlogmas starts on Thanksgiving Day. For you guys, it'll be Thanksgiving Day video, but it'll be the actual video will be my day before Thanksgiving. So I'm actually kicking off Vlogmas on Thanksgiving Day as we celebrate the birth of our Savior, Jesus Christ. The whole reason we celebrate Christmas is because of him. So we are going to kick that off Thanksgiving Day. And you'll always be a day behind. My video will be a day behind, if that makes any sense. But anyway, okay, so on we go. And I will see you guys next time on The Farm and Pastor's Wife. Remember, if the grease is hot enough, you can fry anything. Bye, y'all.